Hi everyone, and welcome along to my little packing vlog. So I often get asked a lot of questions by people on how I survive a 15-hour flight from Melbourne in Australia all the way to the USA. So what I thought I'd do is just show you what I take in my carry-on luggage just to help with the flight, make it a little bit more enjoyable, when you're going that distance, and just a few hints and tips for what to pack in checked luggage versus carry-on, etc. So bear with me, it's one of the first ones of these that I've done, so hopefully some of you can really get some use out of it. All right, so the first thing that I always make sure that I pack in my carry-on as opposed to checked luggage obviously is all my travel documentation. So I have what I call a folder of fun. So this folder has got hard copies printed of everything that I need while I'm away. So I print my flight itinerary, I print my hotel reservations, I print my visa authorizations, everything that I have paid for, made a reservation for, etc. goes in the folder here, and it goes in my carry-on luggage. That way, if I don't happen to have cell phone service when I arrive in the USA and immigration asks me things like, where am I staying? Can they see reservations? Can they see my return ticket? I have been asked for that before. Sometimes it's easier just to have it all printed out rather than try and pull it up on your phone. So that's number one, my folder of fun. Obviously, passport, very important. So I think I checked 3 times before I left home that I had my passport. So keep it in a nice little passport wallet here, and this gets secured away in my handbag. I've got a separate zipper section. I also do take a photo of my passport, so I have the details on my phone as well. So, in the dire emergency that I might actually lose this, at least I know, my passport number, the expiry date, all of that, so I can, go to the embassy, try and get a new one issued. It's never been an issue, but you never know. So the next thing, I always make sure my gambling money for Vegas, so my little budget wallet here, I make sure I pack this in my carry-on luggage. So not a good idea to put this in checked luggage. TSA agents in America have got every right to go through your luggage, and I just don't want, thousands of dollars in checked luggage where, strangers can open it, basically. So this always goes in my my carry-on case with me. And then, of course, obviously my wallet with I always take a copy of my driver's license and credit cards and whatnot, and I also have some US money in here, so I'm ready to go with tips and everything as soon as I arrive in the US. All right, so that's it for documentation. Next thing I always take with me in my carry-on is a change of clothing. So whether it be just, a set of clothes for the next day, so I don't have to rummage around my suitcase when I'm in a airport hotel like I am now, but also just in case, my checked luggage doesn't travel with me. So I use packing cubes, and yep, this has actually got 2 changes of clothes, underwear, socks, and sleepwear in here. So always a great idea to take that in checked luggage, carry-on luggage with you. I also take a small toiletries bag. So I do have a little clear case here. I think I just picked this up from Kmart for about $5. And I just make sure I pack all the essentials that I'm gonna need while I'm overnight in the airport hotel. That way I don't have to, open up my checked luggage. So deodorant, cleansers, moisturizers, little travel size toothpaste, Got my toothbrush here in a little container. I even have little travel size perfume atomizers and small little travel body wash as well. I always bring little packets of tissues, band-aids. This one here is really great. It's dry eye relief, so you quite often get very dry eyes on the plane, so this one's very handy. And I also bring with me, you know, some painkillers, antihistamines, things like that. So you just never know, you know, what's going to happen to your sinuses on the flight. So make sure that everything in your carry-on is under 100 mils or you will have it confiscated. But yeah, that's always really handy to have with you. And again, if your check bag doesn't make it, then you've got set of clothing and you've got some toiletries, and you're not going to have to head out on your first day and buy things to get you through until your luggage does arrive with you. So there's also a few other things that I make sure that I have when I'm on the flight, just to help with you know, your skin dryness and, you know, all of those sort of things. So one of the really big ones is a nasal spray. My sinuses get blocked up, something shocking on a flight. And this is really handy in Vegas as well. But yeah, that one is super important. I always have a hand cream with me as well. What else have I got tucked away in here? I always bring some lozenges with me. So if your throat starts to get a bit scratchy from the dryness on the flight, they come in really handy. But also these are great in Vegas too, because the smoke in the casinos always gets to me. So rather than, you know, chancing it and getting a sore throat, the lozenges are fantastic. Some breath mints, they always come in really handy on a flight. I also usually have my own eye mask. So this is a really nice big one. I know sometimes on flights you do get provided with eye masks, but very occasionally they're just not quite big enough to cover everything properly. What else have I got in here? I bring my own earplugs as well. So again, you do get provided with earplugs, but those foam ones don't do much for me. So I bring these silicone earplugs. I bought these off eBay. I think they're about $35 and they're absolutely amazing. So yeah, always handy to have those with me. Now I always have lip balm, but I can't find it in my bag at the moment. I must have packed it in another one. I've got so much luggage here, but lip balm's another great one to have on the flight with you. And then this little spray bottle here, this is just a face mist, just a moisturizing, it's aloe, green tea and cucumber. So this isn't the original bottle that it came in. I'll pop up a picture of the one it is. But this is fantastic just to spritz your face during the flight to keep yourself a little bit hydrated as well. So the bottle that I bought was over 100 mils, so I had to transfer it into a smaller one. Now, sometimes I have trouble sleeping on a flight. Well, most of the time I have trouble sleeping on a flight. So I've actually got a little container here and I've put some melatonin tablets in here. So I don't like to take proper sleeping tablets on a flight because I find that I still only get a few hours sleep anyway, and I wake up quite drowsy the next morning. Melatonin doesn't tend to make me drowsy, so that's really helpful. Now I showed you the Panadol that I had. I also make sure I get quite a bit of reflux when on flights, just, you know, different food, pressurized cabin. And it's well known that, you know, flying actually changes the way your stomach, you know, digests and whatnot. So I always bring some reflux tablets with me. And I always bring these, they're degas tablets. So you can get quite bloated on flights as well. So degas tablets are really, really handy for that too. Okay, and so there might be times when the entertainment system maybe isn't working. I've had that happen on a flight before, or maybe they just don't have things that you want to watch. So I always bring my iPad with me. This is really handy for layovers in airports as well, especially if you're on flight delays. And then to go with that, I do have my own set of noise cancelling headphones here. So just got a nice little case that those ones go in. But yeah, and these are great too, you know, in hotel rooms. You know, I quite often watch my iPad when I'm in bed rather than whatever's on TV. So, yep, always take the iPad with me. I also make sure that I bring with me a USA SIM card. So I do order this before I leave Australia, and I bring the SIM card with me in my handbag so that when I get on the flight and I put my phone in flight mode, I actually take my Australia SIM card out, load up the USA SIM card, and then once the flight lands in the US and you switch your phone off flight mode, it'll automatically just connect to your USA SIM card. It finds the network automatically for you, and then it texts me my phone number. So literally from the minute that I'm on the ground in the USA, I have cell service on my phone rather than having to try and rely on Wi-Fi, especially if, you know, I'm maybe taking an Uber from the airport. So it just takes a little bit of that stress out of it. So I buy my SIM card from SIM Corner. They quite often have really good sales with 20 or 30% off. You can get eSIM cards as well, so you don't have to have a physical one. And with an eSIM card, you'll just get a code to put in your phone. So whichever suits you. I like to have the physical SIM card. I'm always a little bit worried that if I use the eSIM card that somehow it might connect back to my Australia one and I end up with all these roaming charges, which is the last thing that I need because they're really expensive. And then the last thing, I bring another little travel case here just with all of my electronic chargers. So you know, I'm a little bit OCD. I've got everything in little bags here, but yeah, I just label whether it's iPhone or my watch charger or the iPad charger, because some of mine are different connections. I bring my USA plugs with me. And I also have a little USB port here. So that's got the cord there. That just literally plugs into the USA adapter, and then I can fit up to 6 of my charging cords in here. Which is really, really handy. So I always make sure I have that in my checked luggage as well. And then on top of that, I always take a spare battery charger. So because I vlog a lot while I'm away, my battery gets chewed up quite quickly during the day. So this is really handy to keep in the bag with me. I just have the cord with it and yeah, can plug it in on the go to make sure that my phone is always charged up. So one really important item, especially for an overpacker like me, is a set of luggage scales. So I always have these in my carry-on. You know, it's really handy to weigh your bags in the hotel room before you head to the airport. You don't want to get caught out having to repack your bags while you're standing in the airport. It's happened to me before, it's not fun. So I always bring one of these. I think I bought this at Officeworks, maybe about $12 or $15, and it does weigh in both kilos and pounds, so I always know what my bag is going to be in pounds once I'm in the USA. So just the last couple of things, just to freshen up on the plane. I always make sure I've got some face wipes, so I usually put makeup on before I get on the plane, but you know, once you're on there and you know, trying to go to sleep, I do like to take the makeup off. I always have my little packets of travel tissues as well. So, you know, I take, you know, a good 6 of these away with me. Always have some in my handbag, in my checked luggage. You know, not only, you know, you need tissues to blow your nose, you just never know when you're gonna get caught out in public bathrooms with no toilet paper. So it's always really handy to have a couple of packets of these on hand. Right, so that about wraps it up for everything that I take in my carry-on. So there is quite a bit, but I must say I do pretty much use all of it, whether it's on the flight or it's on that layover in the first night when we're at the hotel in LA. As you'd know, we usually do spend the night in LA before we fly on to Vegas. So yep, by having the change of clothes, all the toiletries, medication, etc., it just makes it a lot easier rather than having to open our big suitcases all the time. So anyway, I hope you all found this really useful. If there's anything else that you take in your check luggage, carry-on luggage that I maybe haven't thought of, then drop us a comment below. But hopefully that helps some of you with planning your travel, especially first-timers who haven't flown that far before from Australia to the US. It is a long flight, it's a hard flight to do, so anything that you can take with you to make it a bit easier, yeah, you want to do it so you feel a little bit refreshed when you get off that plane. All right, thanks so much everybody for watching, and again, I hope you found this really helpful. Bye.